When it comes to discussing the greatest StarCraft 2 player of all time, I think the two players that are right here in this game on Simulacrum are the ones that come to mind primarily. In the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg drones, we have none other than Serral. His opponent, in the opposite corner with the red Terran SCVs from South Korea, he's known as the Machine. Of course, that means we're looking inside of the domain of INnoVation. Now, it's an interesting discussion to have. Obviously, we had many StarCraft 2 players throughout the years, and some of them were dominating for a certain period of time. For example, during Wings of Liberty, for example, during Heart of the Swarm. However, skill level obviously is rising constantly, and I think, in my mind, there's not really anyone else who can be considered to be the greatest of all time other than Serral. This guy's ridiculously good. He's won basically every single tournament out there, and he doesn't really show any signs of slowing down either. In my mind, Serral is indeed the GOAT. INnoVation, though, is an interesting case as well. I don't think there really was like a period of time where he was like considered to be the best of the best, or at the very least not like an extended period of time where that was the case. But he's been around since the very early days of StarCraft 2. I think he started dominating for the very first time in like 2011. And he basically has been around at like the highest skill level ever since then, which is very, very uncommon. Now for Serral that wasn't the case because, well, in 2011 I think he was like 12, maybe 13 years old. He was just simply too young to be participating in tournaments, and I don't even know if he played the game back then. But there's no denying, though, that both of these guys are extremely good. And as always, I'm very interested as well to hear your thoughts on the best StarCraft 2 player of all time. I'm curious, though, to see what's gonna happen in this game. It was recently played during Nation Wars, during the grand finals of Nation Wars. And Serral right here, going for that spawning pool first, going into the Zergling speed really quickly as well, and then leaving 2 drones in gas. This kind of strikes me as not actually like an aggressive opener, but I think just an extremely safe opener. Also with the way like he's scouting around here with the Overlord. He does not want to get cheesed. He's scouting right here to see if there's like any barracks going up, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Now the SCV was sent across the map here for INnoVation, which is huge because that means he's going to patrol with that Reaper back and forth. Link speed, though, will finish up in a little bit. So we'll see if Serral's going to be able to get anything done once that upgrade indeed is done. It is a cool discussion to have, though. By the way, even if I consider Serral to be the greatest of all time right now, I do think that there are other players that can certainly come up in the future that are going to be even better than Serral is right now. For example, Raynor comes to mind. He's getting extremely close to that skill level of Serral, and he's got like a killer instinct that a lot of players don't have. And I don't think necessarily Serral has that either, but Serral's execution is just a little bit cleaner. His consistency is just a little bit better. Another name that comes to mind for me is Clem from France. The guy is ridiculously good. He's improved so much in 2020. We'll see, guys. I'm excited for it, though. Here we go. Zerglings do finish up their metabolic boost upgrade. That means they're going to try and start attacking here. That mule. Killing a mule actually is huge. There you go. Gets the mule, runs on home. Beautiful work there. Getting the mule is about 300 minerals, like 270 to 300 minerals or so lost. So just simply denying that mining time there for a little bit already makes this opener here for Serral worthwhile. He also apparently knows the timing of when these first Hellions come out, runs the Zerglings in like a loop around, and then he goes back. This is what I mean. It's really small moves like that. Most Zerg players there, even professional Zerg players, would have lost all these units already. He's gonna get the second mule. That's huge. He knows when these Hellions are supposed to go out into the map, keeps all 4 Zerglings alive as well, grabs the second mule. And this is not against someone who's bad at the game, right? This is not against someone who is, you know, a lower tier player. By no means. INnoVation is stupid good. Reaper there, the Reaper right there does get picked off. Now, these creep tumors, wow, that's a little bit sloppy. Those creep tumors right now cannot be cancelled anymore. So once they get spread, that's it. They have to commit there. Serral very confident with that placement. And he's going to be able to get those tumors out. Now, already though, a fusion core is coming up. Was this scouted? Of course it was. This is what I mean, guys. Like, there's so much happening here in just the first couple of minutes of the game. And already it's cleaner. Look at this. Nothing has been lost yet. 2 mules were killed as well, which obviously don't cost anything. But that's still like, you know, opportunity lost. It's huge. It's huge. So everything gets scouted. Right now, Serral gets to defend against this in whatever way he pleases. So apparently it's going to be a Roach Warren. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of Spore Crawlers go down as well. Now, obviously, he's not going to take those too early. He's probably going to make those right when he needs them. So they will finish up at the perfect moment so those drones can really optimize their mining. Now, that's not to say that Serral is flawless, obviously. If he was flawless, the game would look a little bit different. Once again, though, positioning just barely in time. Does manage to scout exactly when these Hellions move in, and he will be fine. So look, this is what I mean. Once again, small moves like this. Spore crawlers go up at 5 minutes and apparently like 10-ish seconds, which apparently will be right on time. So if this battlecruiser decides to jump across the map immediately, he will be able to defend against it no matter what. Where is it gonna go? It is gonna go into the main base. Look at this. This is what, like, look how small that move is, right? It's so tempting to like scout a battlecruiser, like a battlecruiser opener, and then like instantly start up the spores. It's like, no, no, no. I'm gonna wait. 510. I need to get those extra 7 minerals out of those drones. Anyways, though, this is gonna be able to deal a little bit of damage. At the same time, we do have the Hellions now making their way towards the third base as well, while the Queens are distracted. Ooh, small little slip up. 4 drones do find the grave. Hellions, though, immediately do once again get on out of there. Okay, so it is gonna be a mech opener here from INnoVation. Very strong build, obviously. Mech has become a little bit more popular, especially now that the Infestor is not nearly as good as it was back in the day. And with back in the day, I mean like 2 weeks ago. I think, though, that this harassment over here is mostly shut down. Yeah, Serral also starts droning already again once more. So it will also be a Yamato cannon upgrade, or the weapon refit, as the ability is actually called, or the upgrade rather is called. That does unlock the Yamato cannon upgrade. Or the ability. You get what I'm trying to say. And that will allow him to start harassing a little bit more actively. Now, this was scouted as well by Serral, by the way. So seeing the second battlecruiser come out, and then also seeing this like little battlecruiser, or like the little fusion core dance, you know that there's gonna be an upgrade. Now, a lot of upgrades have been moved on over towards the fusion core. Like, for example, advanced ballistics, the Medivac upgrade, a bunch of upgrades have been moved over towards that fusion core. But if you see multiple battlecruisers, it's pretty much always going to be that Yamato cannon. Very, very helpful. Well, this battlecruiser right here is receiving a new paint job. It's once again 100% ready to go back into battle. Zerglings, though, are now available as well on this side of the map, while once again the Hellions are trying to force their way up the ramp. And these mules. Oh, no. Dude, that is thousands of resources lost right now in freaking mules. Ugh. Must be infuriating to play against. Once again, the Hellions make their way home, so while I guess attacking right here is also the best defense, these Zerglings likely won't be able to, well, maybe they will actually stay alive. I thought maybe he was trying to set up a run by there. Yeah, he's scouting for them. I don't think they're going to be able to live. They still were worth their weight in gold. Really nicely done. Alright, so actually, interestingly enough, this is like the first time in a new patch where I see someone going straight up into Infestors. Neural Parasite is already coming up. Obviously, landing a fungal growth on battlecruisers still prevents them from jumping away. Landing a Neural Parasite on them, obviously, as well, means that you can start Yamato cannoning down the other battlecruisers if you manage to land that ability. This base, though, certainly will not go up. That one will be cancelled. At the same time, once again, Hellions are threatening run-bys. Both players trying to get as much value out of this as possible. And you know what? The goat made a mistake. Did not cancel the base. One hatchery right there lost. A little bit painful, but nothing all too crazy. I don't know if these infestors are scouted at this point, by the way. Neural Parasite not quite done. Good couple of hits. Nicely done. 10 seconds on Neural Parasite. He needs to get out. INnoVation, you need to get out. You need to get out. Close call. Yeah, losing those battlecruisers would be pretty much the end of the game. Pretty sure Serral would just start making a ton of units at that point. Now, I like this position here for the Terran player quite a bit, by the way. He's got the third base secured, going up towards the fourth command center. And here's what I was trying to say earlier. With the new patch, since the Infestor now no longer has like the Infested Terran, and since Brute Lords are much weaker than they once were, since Thors now basically outranged them, I think the late game Terran mech army is actually very, very potent. If you manage to max out, just as it is with like Skytoss and whatnot, if you manage to max out, it's extremely scary to deal with, especially for Zerg players out there, because their late game army is just not as strong as it once was. So I'm really interested to see how the finished Zerg player actually decides to approach this. There is already that Lurker Den once again coming up. Lurker Dens have become so popular over the last couple of weeks. It's funny because we never really saw Lurkers at all against Terran since like the beginning of Legacy of the Void. And really, like, the main change, for those of you curious, is that the Lurker Den builds a little bit faster, and there's an upgraded Hive that brings the Lurker range to 10. So in the past, that maximum range was range 9. Right now, it's range 10, which is not even that significant of a difference, right? Like, it is obviously noticeable, but, I mean, they still get outranged by siege tanks and a whole lot of other units, too. So there's that upgrade, by the way. The Seismic Spines. I wonder if this kind of playstyle was actually totally viable as well in the previous patch, but nobody really gave it a try. Now, this is nice. Look at that. 10 drones going down. Now, 10 drones at the 10-minute mark, not nearly as big a deal as at, like, the 3-minute mark. The Vipers getting some energy, consuming some of that energy that the Hive apparently can provide. But I really wonder if this kind of playstyle was actually totally viable as well in the previous patch. So it's going to be that Hydra, Lurker, Viper style that I expect we're going to see a lot of going into 2020. INnoVation right now, though, mostly just sitting back. He's got himself +2/+2 coming up. He's a little bit ahead upgrade-wise, but those upgrades are still pretty late, to be honest. He's going to add on those additional factories right now as well. Since he's approaching maxed out, he can indeed start spending some of that. Some of those resources on additional production. Now, this is huge! The battle cruisers were roaming the map. Oh, tactical jumps get used here by Serral. That means that these battle cruisers are not going to be able to get out and say goodbye, because they are out of the equation. Wait. Why is he starting a second fusion? Whoa! Why is he starting a second fusion core? I was gonna say, did I miss like a Nidus in the main base? I don't think so. Regardless, though, this does mean apparently that Serral is smelling a little bit of blood here. He wants to move forward, abducts a couple of Thors, abducts a siege tank as well. And this is so difficult to play against. Look at that. Woo! Oh my god, that's disgusting. All right. So all of a sudden, we have like 30 less supply here for a Terran. Maybe more actually than that. Battle cruisers were picked off obviously as well. Not to be taken, not to be forgotten about. Now this is huge too. So one thing they can do right now a lot easier is outrange planetary fortresses. So Zerg actually now has a proper siege unit. Now siege tanks still have like 15 range, which is more than Lurkers do at 10 range. I think it's 15, 14 or 15 I think. Now this is nice. So a lot of damage gets dealt on the other side of the map, but that also means that the Zerg army is distracted on the other side of the map. Hydra's right now reinforcing this. Hello. Start firing. Hello. There you go. I guess he's preoccupied here because the Lurkers are once again advancing. I think he could have gotten actually like up to like 20 drones there if he microed that a little bit more. Okay. Serral going for some insane multitasking, but I don't think he's going to be able to break this, right? That's an awful lot of Terran. Yeah, I love the addition right there of the missile turrets too. Once again, though, a couple of siege tanks got picked off. Oh, that one as well. Come towards the low ground. You're gone now. Those couple of missile turrets are being really, really annoying. But I've got a feeling that Serral's likely going to have to fall back here in a little bit. At the very least, yeah, send the Hydras and the Lurkers back home. Or not the Hydras and the Lurkers, the Hydras and the Vipers. This is great. These run-bys are amazing. Good scan there as well. INnoVation paying attention. Gets 20 drones. Nicely done. I wonder, though, what this kind of style is going to look like, right? With a little bit more practice. Because honestly, this is quite sloppy here from Serral. Losing, like, I don't know, like 50 drones or so against a bunch of Hellions in total, right? Like, when he's moving across the map. He did set up a lot of static defense near the, like, the bottom section of the map, but, I mean, still not enough when it's enough Hellions, right? They basically just kill everything. Still, though, Serral immediately remaking those workers as well. Oh my god, Neural Parasite on top of all of these siege tanks. That now means that they are gonna gun down the other siege tanks as well. We do now see him using Blinding Cloud on his own units. After which they get target fired down once again by the Hydralisk. Now, I know that some of you, and once again, we do have the Hellions coming up. I know that some of you that play Terran look at this and think, oh my god, disgusting, can't believe it. I just want to say, as someone who plays all three races, but primarily Zerg, this style that Serral is playing here is extremely difficult. There's so much multitasking going on. If you look right here at the actions per minute, those APM measures are certainly going to go up as time goes by. I don't think INnoVation is actually in like a losing position here though. It's just that Serral's bank is already looking really solid, and if he keeps on giving a couple of those stores away for free, this game will not continue for much longer. Oh my god, that is so much damage. That's like 5 Thors. Assimilation. Successful. Now the infestors over there will be picked up. But this base over here will not start mining. So in a way, and I don't necessarily know if this was like the intent for Serral, but in a way he's like soft containing his opponent here. Only allow. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. In a way, he's like soft containing his opponent on 4 bases, right? Eventually, the main and the natural and the third and the fourth will run out. INnoVation is gonna have to make a move here in a little bit. Now he's trying to let that move happen, or make that move happen rather, before he absolutely needs to. Oh my god, Vipers, dude. Vipers are nuts. What's funny as well is that, like, Vipers were not changed, right? Like, Vipers are still the same as they have been since, like, the introduction of the game. Ay. That's so dirty. The Zerk in me is getting giddy here, I'm sorry. Neutral caster, no longer. Oh, man. I wish we had, like, a counter for how much damage those Vipers have done. It's been insane. Serral trying to pick his opponent apart. 5th base right now being acquired. Planetary Fortress is going to finish up in a little bit, and you know what? I think he got it. Serral's not going to be able to jump into that base nearly as easily anymore, and that means that INnoVation now has a new base to mine from, which is actually huge. He's also getting to the point where his upgrades are getting maxed out, INnoVation that is. So that makes all of these units that he's got significantly scarier, and the maxed out Terran army is still extremely good. Still though, with most of the Terran army right now in the northern section of the map, Serral's like, okay, you know what, you want to defend that 5th, I'll go ahead and go after your 3rd base instead, because I know that your army is slow and sluggish, it's not going to be able to move back home nearly as easily, so if you're going to concentrate your defenses up north, I will just move south instead. All of those Lurkers get into a really powerful position as well. Bunch of those Vipers get picked off too. Ooh, Thor just barely does not manage to run away. Serral loses a lot of resources there, but this is obviously where that bank that he got earlier is really going to come into play. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to cycle up north again here in a little bit, or maybe even go for like this planetary over here. Terran cannot defend all of their bases at once, and I think that's the main concern here. He doesn't have the money to like make multiple planetary fortresses, and I don't really know even if that would be enough. A couple of Lurkers trying to come in from the back as well. Once again, the Vipers are moving forward. They're trying to get something done here. Terran desperately scrambling all of the units here to defend the 3rd base. Lurker still in the back of it. Wouldn't be surprised if one of them indeed gets left behind to harass the mineral line. At the same time, apparently there was a little bit of harassment over here too. One pesky Lurker just simply waddled in there and managed to somehow, some way get into a spot where I can kill 9 of these units and force a scan, which once again is opportunity lost. Oh my god. How do you get so good at playing this style in like 2 weeks time? Like, it's not been a very long time since the new patch arrived, and Serral has basically been traveling non-stop, right? He's been in Berlin to play in Home Story Cup, and then he also, you know, just played in Nation Wars, which is where this game right here was played. That was over in Paris. Here we go. Couple of Liberators now joining the fray. Now, I wouldn't normally mind that, but... oh my god, those abducts are insane! Those abducts are disgusting! Those, like, that was nuts! That Viper cloud is ridiculous. That's 10 Vipers here in total. They're like, you know what, we don't even need an Evolution Chamber anymore. We're just gonna go after the hatchery now. He lost 10 Vipers here as well, but you can see the amount of resources lost for Terran is much, much higher. Thors do shoot him out of the sky quite smoothly. Now he's getting brave. Getting to... oh my god. Oh, that's so dirty. You kidding? Oh my god. You kidding me? Hey, you know what? If Zerg players play like this, I'm not sure that Terran mech is viable. Like, if the games continue playing like this at the highest level, like, Serral just smashed INnoVation. That wasn't even close. From start to finish, other than, like, the Hellion run-bys, which is, like, the only thing I really didn't like there for Serral. I think he could fix that, though, by just leaving, like, 5 or 6 Hydralisks behind and just using the static defense plus those Hydras to defend. Other than that, that was a near flawless game there by the finisher. Extremely well done. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if this continues this way, I feel like you may have to either switch into Ghosts, which is very difficult to do when you already play mech, because you don't really have that kind of gas. I think you have to switch into Ghosts to try and land EMPs on those Vipers, or you know, play more aggressively, right? Like, play more timing attack focused. There were some styles back in the day where Terran players would go single armory and then go for, like, attack upgrades and push as hard as possible. Maybe that would be a better way to approach this kind of style, because this passive, sitting back, trying to max out with maxed upgrades as well off of double armory, and not really being all too aggressive other than with a couple of Hellions, I'm not sure if that style works. Now, I have seen great success recently with biological-based openers, where basically Terran players will just go for, you know, once again, Marine Marauder Medivac with drops and all of that. That style seems to be much better, especially because you can switch into Ghosts later on. Like, Ghosts are so good against all of those late-game Zerg spellcasters. Maybe, though, someone will figure out a style where this kind of army here from INnoVation is viable, and then you also, on top of that, go for Ghosts. Because one EMP on those Vipers would be incredible, right? Especially with the new EMP upgrade. There's a lot of potential here, but I don't think the way that INnoVation is playing it here works particularly well against one of those top-level Zergs. I think the style that INnoVation plays probably is great to reach, like, top 25 on the Korean Grandmaster League ladder. But Serral just looked at it twice, like, you know what? I'm just going to play a near-flawless game and see how you deal with that. Ridiculous. I hope you enjoyed watching this game. If you did enjoy watching this, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you get notifications as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile or write. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters. But I hope to see you once again in the next one.